Watching this story for you, President Obama's executive action on gun control. President Obama looking to expand background checks on potential gun buyers, among other limitations. The president will meet with Attorney General Loretta Lynch today before moving ahead with the planned executive action. Big news this morning. Let's bring in WPA Research Vice President Lisa Boothe. Lisa, good morning to you.
Hi, Sandra. Good morning.
So what are you seeing as far as polling is concerned, as far as the president going at it alone here?
Well, look, we know that the majority of Americans support gun rights. Further, according to Pew Research, 63% of Americans believe that owning a gun is the best way to protect themselves from criminals, against violent crime. And this is nothing more than a political stunt from President Obama. Nothing that he is proposing, nothing that has been reported would have done anything to have prevented any of the recent mass shootings that we have seen. The biggest commonalities we continue to see in these incidents is that 92% of them are happening in gun-free zones. Further, there's mental health issues involved, and so none of these expansion of background checks are going to do anything to prevent these kind of crimes. If you go back to the Oregon shooting, Oregon has universal background checks, which is as strict as you could possibly get, and the killer was still able to obtain a gun. If you look at a lot of these northeastern states where liberals are pushing for more extreme gun measures, they're not even turning over the pertinent information to the FBI's NICS database that would prevent someone from obtaining a gun. So this is nothing but a political stunt.
So House Speaker Paul Ryan put out a statement, and in that statement, he acknowledged the same thing, Lisa. He said these ideas, he said it's apparent none of these ideas would have prevented the recent atrocities. Our focus should be on the consistent causes of these acts, mental illness, and terrorism. But what is the right suggesting that we do to combat that angle of it? So, they're saying, no, we don't want to move forward with more gun control, but what are they suggesting?
Well, Sandra, I would argue that we have 20,000 federal and state laws on the books, and there's laws that we're not even following. As I mentioned, northeastern states not turning over this, and many states not turning over the information that they need to the FBI's NICS database. Or if you look at the incident in South Carolina, it was a failure of the FBI system that did not catch the killer from being able to obtain a gun legally. So what is the point of increasing these gun controls when it's going to give a false sense of security? It's not actually going to do anything to prevent any of these mass shootings. I think we need to look at the biggest commonalities that we continue to see, which is a mental health breakdown. Or why do we as a society continue to glorify and give infamy to these shooters, which is exactly what they want?
The only thing I'll add to the particularly like the Republican presidential candidates will turn to the issue of mental health. But because they can't get into specifics because it's so difficult to tackle. When you talk about watching somebody and putting somebody in a database who has mental health issues. By the way, the shooter in that Louisiana case had been in and out of mental health institutions. His family knew that he was a risk, but you get into issues of personal privacy. So it's not very easy. So you want the government creating a database of anybody who's ever seen a psychiatrist, and psychiatrists reporting to the federal government in a big cataloging people's mental issues. Well, and then who's to say that they're a danger or not? It's tough. It's tough to get into details, and you see the Republican candidates struggling with that.
Well, the marketplace, Lisa, has definitely been expecting more limitations put on them as far as gun control, with the fact that we've seen gun sales surging and the gun manufacturers reporting record sales. So, Lisa Boothe, thanks for joining us on that breaking news
Thanks
this morning.
Thanks for having me.